Chapter 27:11. There was no pop-up window for free reading. Two big brothers, should we kill the rest of the abyss species? Within the abyss, there was a group of over 800,000 abyssal species. Dugio, who was attached to an undying God King level 8 abyssal species, was sprawled around a few other abyssal species. His eyes were wide open as he scanned the surroundings, speaking in shock. Around him, there were 5 Undying God King Stage 8 Abyss species and 1 Undying God King Stage 9 Abyss species. The 6 of them were naturally on the same side, Yamata no Sha and the rest. Around them, there were about 2,000 Abyss species. They were also on the same side, members of the Poison Department. However, the 800,000 Abyss species around them were not on the same side. This was a true abyssal demon. At this moment, Dugio was panicking. He felt like a husky in a pack of wolves. Calm down, calm down. These are all our underlings, obedient babies. When they help us find our next target, we will send them on their way. Yamata no Orochi calmly lay there, its huge head scanning the surroundings, looking satisfied. Oh! Dugio nodded. Little Nine, you have to grow up too. Later on, bring some abyss species to search the surroundings. After finding a target, we will continue. Whether we can reach the pinnacle of the Undying God King stage will depend on our efforts this time. Yamata no Sha said to him. Yes, big brothers. I understand. Dugio nodded heavily. He could already predict that the Dragon King would help him reach the Undying God King stage in half a month. As long as they reaped enough rewards, he could even reach the pinnacle of the Undying God King stage. That was the pinnacle of the God King stage, the pinnacle existence below the God Emperor stage. Tens of minutes later, Dugio and the other members of the Poison Department led the abyss species to search the surroundings. A few hours later, they found a target. Hence, the 800,000 abyss species were in trouble. After killing them, they continued to hunt, displaying their wretched methods to the extreme. Days passed and the promised time of half a month soon arrived. Kakik, the rewards this time is a qualitative improvement. Little Nine, contact the Dragon King. Half a month later, Yamata no Sha's voice sounded. Yes, big brother Yamata no Sha. Dugio immediately nodded and took out the communication stone plate to make contact. At the same time, in a secluded corner of the abyss, Wang Xian took out the communication stone plate and read the message on it with a smile. When he saw where Dugio and the others were, he exited the abyss and immediately flew towards the center. Wang Xian sent Roving Demon and the rest to check out the surroundings at the entrance of the abyss that was nearer to Orochi and the rest. After confirming the location, Wang Xian sent them a message. Soon, Dugio and Demon Fiend flew over. Greetings, Dragon King. When the two of them saw Wang Xian, they greeted him respectfully. How was the harvest? Wang Xian asked. Dragon King, our harvest this time is huge, 3 Undying God King level 9 Abyss Beasts, 25 level 8 Beasts. As for the rest, there are 3,000 Undying God Kings and about 2 million ordinary ones. And Mo Sha grinned and said excitedly, You gained so much? Upon hearing his words, Wang Xian was shocked. It's mainly because Orochi and Demon Fiend are too powerful. Dugio could not help but say, Alright, bring the Undying God King level Abyss Beasts to the Imperial Court to exchange for elixir pills. As for the rest of the ordinary Abyss Beasts' corpses, the Dragon Palace can produce another 8,000 venom-horned dragons. Wang Xian revealed a smile as he said to them, Yes, Dragon King. And Mo Sha and Dugio nodded and flew towards the Imperial Court. Soon, the strength of the Poison Refining Department will undergo an earth-shattering change. Wang Xian murmured as his eyes shone. The first time, there were 5 rank 8 Undying God King level Abyss Beasts. This time, there would be another 25 and 3 rank 9 Undying God King level Abyss Beasts. Such an increase in speed was terrifying. Soon, the Poison Refining Department would be the strongest among all the departments in the Dragon Palace. Old Ancestor, according to the news we received, there's an Abyss Beast tribe here. If we kill them, We will be able to obtain many merit points to exchange for treasures. Not far away from Wangxian, a group of 5,000 people flew over. The two old men in the lead exuded a powerful aura. Their eyes were like torches. They were definitely not ordinary experts. The war this time is intense. Yesterday, the Night Clan lost two Ninth Order Immortal God King Realm experts. Later on, all of you be careful. The old man in the lead reminded. Yes, old ancestor. The rest of the group nodded in agreement. Old ancestor, look at that person in front. He looks like. At this moment, an old man at the side suddenly pointed to the front and bellowed with a gloomy expression. Huh! The rest looked over and their faces darkened. It's the Dragon King. The two old men in the lead shot out terrifying killing intent. It's the Dragon King! The Dragon King who forced them to escape from the evil demon island and away from their base. Close to 20,000 immortal god kings from their Sky Edge sect had fallen in the hands of the Dragon Palace. Their World Horizon sect's treasure, the World Horizon ruler, was also taken away by him. The hatred of the Sky Edge sect and the Dragon Palace were irreconcilable. In an instant, violent murderous aura surged from all the people from Sky Edge sect as they stared at Wang Xian in front of them. Old ancestor, it's just the Dragon King and the other four. Should we? An expert from the Sky Edge sect suppressed the murderous intent in his heart and bellowed. Let's go over. Even if we can't kill him, we have to make the Dragon King flee. The two old ancestors from the Sky Edge sect did not hesitate and flew towards the front. The reason why the Sky Edge sect lost to the Dragon Palace previously was because of the powerful Dragon Foam and the three thorny monsters. This time, Dragon Foam wasn't here and the Dragon Palace only had the Dragon King and the other four. Would they be afraid? Even if they couldn't take revenge this time, they had to let the Dragon King know the consequences of offending them. Huh! As they flew over, Wang Xian, who was standing in front of the abyss, had already sensed them. Seeing the group from the Sky Edge sect, he squinted his eyes. Dragon King. Roving Sword looked over with a cold gaze. He waved his arm and the Sky Edge ruler appeared under his feet. Beside him, a dragon guard and a berserk dragon immediately landed in front of the Sky Edge ruler. Huh! It's our Sky Edge ruler. Damn it. That's our sect guarding treasure. On the opposite side, everyone from the Sky Edge sect was infuriated when they saw the Sky Edge ruler under Wang Xian. Chapter 27:12. There was no pop-up window for free reading. Damn it! When the two Laozu from Sky Edge saw the Sky Edge ruler that Wang Xian and the rest were riding on, their faces turned ugly. This was the ultimate treasure of their Sky Edge sect. Now, it was being used by the enemy. Dragon King! The two of them bellowed. Terrifying murderous aura surged from their bodies as they charged over. Hee stray dogs. Wang Xian stared at them and spoke with contempt. You're courting death. When the two Laozu from Sky Edge heard this, they were enraged. They lifted their palms and blasted a wave of energy towards Wang Xian and the rest. Dragon King, do you need me to take action? Roving Heavens asked Wang Xian in a low voice as he watched their attacks. Hee. Wang Xian shook his head as he stared emotionlessly at the group from Sky Edge. His eyes were still filled with ridicule. One. Roving Sword controlled the Sky Edge ruler and dodged to the side to avoid their attacks. Kill them. Let's all kill the Dragon King. Kill, kill, kill! Behind them, the group of experts from the World's Edge sects roared furiously. Incompetent rage! Wang Xian sneered. Dragon King, don't be arrogant. It won't be long before we, Sky Edge, make you pay a heavy price. One of the Laozu from Sky Edge clenched his fist and bellowed. So what if I'm arrogant? I have the right to be arrogant to stray dogs like you. Wang Xian chuckled and continued. Dragon King, I hope you can still laugh in the future. The two Laozu from Sky Edge were breathing heavily as they suppressed the anger in their hearts and bellowed. Don't worry. You won't have a future. Wang Xian stared at them emotionlessly. Let's go! The two patriarchs of the Sky Edge sect roared with gloomy faces, turned around, and left. Laozu! The experts of the World's Edge sect shouted with an embarrassed look on their faces. Let's go. It's difficult for us to eliminate the Dragon King and the rest. Moreover, they can escape easily with the Sky Edge ruler. Killing here will attract experts from the Imperial Court. It's forbidden for humans to kill each other here, a Horizon Elder said with a sullen face. Then when can we take revenge? A middle-aged man said unwillingly. The crowd fell silent. They did not know when they would be able to take revenge. If the Imperial dynasty is willing to help, then we will have a chance, an old man said helplessly. With their strength, the possibility of annihilating the Dragon Palace for revenge was slim. But if the experts of the Imperial Court were willing to help, however, the chance of an Imperial Court expert helping them was also very small. Let's go. Let's enter the abyss. Even if we can't take revenge in the future, we won't let the Dragon Palace have it easy, an old ancestor said as he flew into the abyss. People from World's Edge actually appeared here. It seems like World's Edge really is related to some experts from the Imperial dynasty. At the same time, Wang Xian stood in the void and muttered to himself as he looked at the back view of the people from Sky Edge sect. Dragon King, a spiked dragon is already tailing them. Roving Demon's voice resounded from the side. Wang Xian nodded slightly. Dragon King. Dragon King. At this moment, two voices could be heard. Du Jiu and Dima Fiend flew over excitedly. Just a while ago, Du Jiu's name had climbed to the top of the hero leaderboard. He had 3 times more points than the second place. Naturally, they had also reaped a huge amount of pills. Du Jiu, I will increase your strength first. Dima Fiend, go and call the members of the poison refining department over. Wang Xian took over their elixir pills and spoke immediately. Yes, Dragon King. Dima Fiend nodded and flew into the abyss. This time, the poison refining department would have 25 more rank 8 Immortal King Abyss species and 3 rank 9 Immortal King Abyss species. As for rank 7 ones, the number would increase to 70. After this time, the members of the poison refining department would all be rank 3 Immortal King. After all, there were over 3,000 Immortal King corpses this time. Wang Xian took out the pills and swallowed them, turning them into large amounts of dragon energy. 20 minutes later, Wang Xian digested all the pills and waved at Du Jiu. In less than 2 minutes, Du Jiu's strength broke through to rank 9 Immortal King. Dragon King. At this time, Orochi rushed over with his men, while Dima Fiend was guarding the abyss species that he would need to parasitize later. Begin. Wang Xian swept his gaze across and smiled. After this time, Orochi and the rest would have 5 rank 9 Immortal King Realm experts. As for rank 8 Immortal King Realm experts, they would reach 28. Such strength would be considered strong even among the abyss species. Dragon King, there's news from CI Long Sky Edge sex experts have entered the abyss and are preparing to hunt down an abyss species. Just as Wang Xian was increasing the strength of the members of the poison refining department, Roving Demon flew out from the abyss with a message. Oh? Wang Xian stopped and raised his eyebrows. Hunt down an abyss species nearby? There's a species nearby with 3 rank 9 Immortal King Abyss species. That's our next target. When Orochi heard the news, he frowned slightly and said, given Sky Edge sex strength, they can definitely hunt down that group of abyss species. Wang Xian stopped. His eyes flickered as he looked at the Orochi beside him. Orochi, send someone to Sky Edge sect immediately. When they are hunting down the abyss species, find a way to parasitize one of their members. As he spoke, he raised his brows. Oh? Dragon King, you want our venom-horned dragon to devour them? Orochi's eyes lit up as he asked. There's no need to devour them. We can also control their movements. Next. Orochi understood before Wang Xian could finish his sentence. As long as the Dragon Palace controlled the movements of Sky Edge sect, they could ambush them whenever Sky Edge made a move in the future. Dragon King, leave this to me. I promise to complete it. Orochi replied immediately. All right, we don't need to parasitize many of them. One will suffice. Next will be much easier. Don't expose yourself. Wang Xian reminded Orochi. Rest assured, Dragon King. Orochi nodded and turned to Roving Demon. Old Yao, let me see if it's the abyss species nearby. If it's there, things will be much simpler. Here. Roving Demon took out the communication stone plate and showed it to him. It's here. Orochi squinted his eyes. Dragon King, I'll head over now. Wait for the good news here. Chapter 27:13. Old Ancestor, it's just ahead, that group of races. Somewhere in the abyss, the 5,000 experts from the Sky Edge sect were enveloped by a treasure. The Sky Edge sect master looked ahead and spoke to the two old ancestors. And, it's as Protector D said, we can easily kill 3 undying God King Abyss race. One of the old ancestors looked over and spoke. Old Ancestor, the light shirt that Protector D gave us is extremely powerful. Even at such a close distance, the Abyss races can't detect us. One of the experts from the Sky Edge sect looked around and said in shock. And Protector D is not bad. All disciples, get ready to hunt the millions of Abyss races ahead. Don't let a single one escape. We'll take care of the 8th and 9th Order Undying God Kings. The rest will be left to you. Don't let any of them escape. The two old ancestors stared ahead and ordered. Yes, old ancestor. Old Ancestor, killing these Abyss races is a piece of cake for us. At most 3 minutes, all of them will be killed. The group of experts from the Sky Edge sect said confidently. The people who came this time were all Undying God King level experts. They were all elites of World Edge sections. Even though these Abyss races were strong, they could easily wipe them out. Kill! The two old ancestors roared and locked onto the group of 9th and 8th Order Undying God King Abyss race as they charged forward. The rest of the 9th Order experts locked onto the 7th Order Abyss race. For the Sky Edge sect, there was no suspense at all in this war. Roar, roar, roar! The group of Abyss races roared in rage when they saw the experts from the Sky Edge sect charging over. The 3 9th Order Undying God King Abyss race felt a strong sense of danger. Their faces were filled with fear as they tried to escape. However, with 2 Peak God King experts locking onto them, it was extremely difficult for them to escape. Kill! The group of Sky Edge experts charged over, their faces filled with arrogance. Large patches of Abyss races were being harvested by them, and the entire race was being wiped out at a terrifying speed. This is the time, go over. However, not far away, 2 abyssal species moved and directly rushed toward the battlefield. Hey, there's a little bastard here. A woman was quickly killing the Abyss species. When she saw the Abyss species flying over from the right, she was slightly stunned. She waved her arm, and a sword light attacked the abyssal species. Fuck, this B*TCH actually dared to attack me. I wanted to parasitize a man, but since you attacked me, I'll let you have a taste of being parasitized. When the abyssal monster saw the sword gleam coming towards it, it opened its mouth and muttered. His body moved, easily dodging the attack of the sword light. Eh? Isn't this a First Order Undying God King Realm abyssal species? To be able to dodge my attack, its reaction is pretty fast. The woman was slightly surprised as she looked over. She waved her arm and slashed out with sword light. Bam! The sword ray landed on the body of the Abyss species and immediately penetrated it. Bam! However, at this time, the body of the abyssal demon split apart as a black liquid streaked through the void and entered the body of the Undying God King woman. At such a short distance, the woman could not even react in time. Her body stiffened, and her eyes slowly turned black. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly, looking terrifying and awe-inspiring. Lingyu, are you all right? At this time, a middle-aged man saw the woman floating in the air motionlessly. He was slightly shocked and asked, I'm fine, husband. Let's kill these bastards together. Soon, the darkness in the woman's eyes disappeared, and a devilish look flashed across her face. All right, let's kill them. The middle-aged man did not sense anything amiss and continued to kill the surrounding abyss species. Damn it, parasitizing a woman. What a pervert. Seems like I'm still lacking compared to him. Not far away, an old man glanced over and murmured, "Not bad, not bad. He has some of my elegance." In the distance, when Orochi saw this scene, the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. His body moved and he quickly left. After parasitizing, the venom-horned dragon would be able to accept the memories of the other party. Orochi was confident that even if it was a woman, there would not be any loopholes. After Orochi left, the spiked dragon that was hiding in the surroundings also left. "Dragon King!" Half an hour later, Orochi came to Wang Xian and called out with a smile. "Success?" Wang Xian asked Orochi. "It's a success, Dragon King. Of my 2 subordinates, one is at the 6th Order Immortal King Realm, and the other is at the 7th Order Immortal King Realm. Moreover, Dragon King, we can get information from them and find a chance to parasitize more experts from the Sky Edge," Orochi said. Leave the matters in the Abyss to Demon Shah. You handle the matters in the Sky Edge sect and try to parasitize the 8th Order Undying God King Core experts." Wang Xian pondered for a moment and said, "If we can eliminate the Sky Edge sect, the resources we can get will not be lesser than the Abyss." "All right, Dragon King. Leave the Sky Edge sect to me." Yamada no Orochi nodded. They had only killed a few thousand Immortal God King Abyss species in a month, but there were still 60 to 70,000 Immortal God King experts in the Sky Edge sect. There were also 7 to 8 9th Order Undying God King experts. Killing them would also give the Dragon Palace a huge boost. Wang Xian nodded and continued to raise the strength of the members of the Poison Department. Ha, let's go back after a great victory. After exchanging the Abyss species we killed for contribution points, our points will be higher than that Dugio. I wonder which force that Dugio is from. But this time, our Sky Edge is going to reach the top. At the same time, within the Abyss, the people from the Sky Edge sect were happily cleaning up the corpses on the battlefield. The harvest this time was not a small one for the great sections. Another thing was that after exchanging the Abyss species for contribution points, the Sky Edge sect would be able to reach the top of the hero leaderboard. This was also a promotion for the Sky Edge sect. All disciples return. This battle was easy for us, but it won't be so easy for us in the future. The Battle of the Abyss is a crisis and an opportunity. I hope that our Sky Edge sect can produce another Pinnacle God King expert. An old ancestor swept his gaze across everyone and said faintly, "Old ancestor, we will definitely work hard. Get stronger, and annihilate the Dragon Palace for revenge." "That's right. Next, we will enter the Abyss and fight non-stop, kill the Abyss species, and quickly increase our strength. It's either we succeed or we die," the group of experts from the Sky Edge sect said. The last sentence came from the parasitic middle-aged man of the Poison Department. Chapter 27:14. Let's go. Your sect leader will organize a team to hunt for the Abyss demons. In the Abyss, old ancestor Sky's Edge left with his men. Sky's Edge had gained a lot from this battle. In the following battles, the disciples of Sky's Edge would have to form their own teams to hunt. After all, they had gained so much because of a piece of information from a guardian of the Imperial Court. It was also a reward for the Sky's Edge sect for working for the Imperial Court. The group left to prepare for what was to come. At the same time, at Wang Xian's location, the poison-making department had improved tremendously. Orochi did not enter the Abyss again. Instead, he brought 5 8th Order Undying God Kings and 10 7th Order Undying God Kings with him. "Dragon King, my 2 subordinates have returned with the experts from Sky's Edge. I'll take my leave first to prepare." Orochi looked at the information on the computer and said to Wang Xian with a smile, "All right." Wang Xian nodded and led Roving Heavens and the rest to a temporary place to wait. "Old 3, you're too disgusting. How dare you parasitize a woman? What the heck? What do you know? Only Sky's Edge would not be suspected if he parasitized a woman. Look, it's so easy to deal with someone. This is the 7th Order Undying God King expert, the descendant of Sky's Edge Elder. Damn, is this guy the husband of this corpse? Tell me, have you been fucked these few days? Scram, hurry up and parasitize. Sky's Edge sect will be organizing an operation these 2 days. On a planet in the central region. This was a planet specially allocated to Sky's Edge sect by the experts of the Imperial Court. A voice came from a courtyard on the planet. Soon, the middle-aged man who was lying at the side stood up. He exchanged glances with the woman and revealed a creepy smile. Where's Old Seven? How's he doing? The middle-aged man asked the woman. Old Seven is seducing a deacon. He should have succeeded by now. The woman said. Yuan Feng and his wife, sorry to disturb you. At this moment, a voice came from outside and 2 old men walked in. The middle-aged woman looked over and the 4 of them smirked. I have some news. A few deacons will lead over 1,000 disciples into the abyss 2 days later. An old man walked over and said, I'm following a team. I don't want this identity anymore. I want to change. The woman said directly. Boss said to parasite another 10 people. In the next 2 days, we'll find a chance to complete the parasites. With a dozen of us here, it'll be more convenient. All right. The 4 of them chatted. The 4 of them were the true core members of the World Edge sect. There were descendants of elders, descendants of deacons. There was even the Tianya clan that had been fighting for Tianya for generations. No one would have thought that they would betray him. Dragon King, 3 days later, some experts from Tianya will lead a team into the abyss to hunt for the abyss species. They sent the old demon and the others to assassinate them. A day later, Wang Xian received a message from Orochi. Roving demon, contact Yamata no Orochi. Also, send some thorn dragons from the Dragon Palace. After receiving the message, Wang Xian immediately ordered Roving Demon beside him. Yes, Dragon King. Roving Demon nodded and immediately took action. This time, we must be careful when we enter the abyss. Everyone, listen to my orders. 3 days later, in the central region, a group of 200 people flew to the left. What of the deacons from the Tianya sect said? Yes. The group of experts from the Horizon sect nodded and immediately followed behind. A group of over 200 people. The strongest was an 8th Order Undying God King, while the rest were at the Undying God King realm. This was not a weak force. Their speed was fast. After entering the abyss, they immediately raised their guard. Deacon, let's head over there. There are people nearby. Even if there are abyss species, the abyss species will discover the situation here. Moreover, if there are people, we will have to share some with them. An hour after entering the abyss, a lady suddenly spoke. All right, let's head over there. Why didn't Yuan Feng come this time? The leading deacon nodded and asked casually. He had some matters to settle, so I came over on my own. The lady smiled faintly. The World's Edge deacon nodded and did not probe further. After all, this wasn't a suitable place for idle chatter. Stop! Just as they were about to reach a meteorite, the lady suddenly spoke. Huh! What's wrong, Lady Yuan Feng? The deacon was slightly shocked and immediately asked her. Deacon, look at that place. The lady flew to his side and pointed ahead. What? The deacon looked over in shock. Pooh! However, in the next instant, a sharp claw pierced through his body, causing him to freeze. His eyes widened in disbelief as he turned around and stared at the lady. However, when he saw the lady's body slowly splitting apart, his eyes were filled with shock. Madame Yuan Feng, you... At this time, the 200 Undying God Kings were shocked to see this. Pu. However, in the next instant, a cross of light and darkness pierced through everyone's body. Kakik, brat, not bad. Following which, Yamata no Orochi's voice sounded and his figure appeared in front of them. Hee, thank you for the praise, boss. The malevolent-looking venom-horned dragon burrowed out of the lady's body and smiled at Yamata no Orochi. Continue to work hard. Yamata no Orochi smiled and waved his hand, clearing all the corpses. Yes, boss. Old Seven is already organizing people and preparing to lead a few thousand Undying God Kings to hunt. At that time, the rewards will be even greater. Yamata no Orochi's subordinate smiled and said, Kiki, good, remember, don't get discovered. Yamata no Orochi nodded and smiled. Yes, yes. The subordinate immediately nodded respectfully, transformed into an ordinary middle-aged man, and flew outside. I have to say, Yamata no Orochi, you guys are really cunning, especially after evolving into venom-horned dragons. Roving Demon saw this and said plainly, Kakik, it's not that I'm bragging. As long as I have enough time, the entire Imperial Dynasty will become the backyard of our poison department. Yamata no Orochi smiled proudly. He was in a good mood. Not long later, he would be able to reach the peak Undying God King combat power. At that time, he would be the strongest among the leaders of Dragon Palace. Let's go to the next place. Roving Demon smiled at the side and disappeared into the void. Offending Yamata no Orochi's poison department was even more terrifying than offending the Spike Dragon race. Chapter 27:15. As the days passed, more than a dozen venom-horned dragons had completely infiltrated the World Edge sect. Moreover, they had parasitized some core experts of Sky Edge sect. One of the core parasites was the son of Sky Edge sect's sect leader. War was cruel. Sky Edge sect had once pursued Qingwei and Ling Xiu and almost killed them. Wang Xian had to take revenge for this. Dragon Palace had killed so many experts of Sky Edge sect and turned them into stray dogs. Sky Edge sect had a chance to annihilate Dragon Palace and kill their experts. Since there was a chance to annihilate Sky Edge sect, Wang Xian would not hold back. Over the past few days, the disappearance of 7 to 8 teams that entered the abyss did not attract the attention of Sky Edge sect. After all, there were still 60 to 70,000 Undying God King experts in the entire Sky Edge sect. 1 to 2,000 Undying God King experts entered the abyss without any news. However, 8 days later, a Sky Edge deacon, the son of an elder, organized a team of 4,000 Undying God King experts into the abyss without any news. On the 13th day, it attracted the attention of Sky Edge sect. Deacon Zhou Feng and the others led over 4,000 Sky Edge disciples. Is there any response? In a hall on the planet where the Sky Edge sect was located, the Sky Edge sect master frowned and asked several elders. No, there's no news at the moment. There's another piece of news. There's no contact with the disciples that entered the abyss recently. An elder frowned. In the past 10 days, all the disciples that entered the abyss had not returned. There was no contact. This gave them a bad feeling in their hearts. Entering the abyss to kill abyssal species might be dangerous. However, all those that entered had disappeared. Such a strange thing seemed to be controlled by a huge hand behind the scenes. Most importantly, for deacons led over 4,000 Undying God King experts into the abyss to kill an abyssal species a few days ago. Now they had disappeared without any contact. Entering the abyss to kill abyssal species wasn't something that could be done in a day or two. However, there was no news for 4 to 5 days and they couldn't contact them. This gave them a bad feeling. In particular, there was no news of the disciples who had left during this period of time. This bad premonition was even stronger. Send someone to investigate immediately. I have a bad feeling about this, the Tianya sect master said with a sullen face. Yes. The elders nodded in agreement. Also, during this period, all disciples are forbidden from entering the abyss. The World's Edge sect master continued to order. Dragon King, this is our harvest this time. Time passed day by day, and the deadline of half a month that Wang Xian had set with the poison refining department had arrived. Undying God King, 5 rank 9 abyss types, 40 rank 8, 100 rank 7, 7,000 Undying God Kings. Devil Fiend grinned and continued. Very good. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled and his face was beaming. You and Du Jiu continue exchanging resources, he immediately ordered. Demon Fiend Du Jiu nodded and flew towards the Imperial Court. This place was very close to the Imperial Court. It would take about 10 hours of flying. Next, they would get closer and closer to the central area, and the risk of hunting the abyss species would also increase. At that time, he might even have to face human powerhouses. After the upgrade, the poison department's strength has more or less doubled. They can even take on undying God King peak existences. Wang Xian murmured as his eyes sparkled. Dragon King, with the addition of 5 undying God King realm experts, I can parasitize the elders of the Sky Edge sect. On the side, Orochi said with a smile. How's the situation over at the Sky Edge sect? Wang Xian asked. The disappearance of over 6,000 undying God King experts has aroused their suspicions. Now, they forbid any disciples from entering the abyss. Only the parasitized elders can do something big. Orochi's eyes sparkled. Hee, alright. Let's see if we can eliminate the 2 old ancestors of the Sky Edge sect. Wang Xian said with a cold gaze. Yes, Dragon King! Orochi nodded. The subsequent upgrade went smoothly. At the same time, some corpses of the abyss species were sent to the Dragon Palace from the Dragon Transformation Pool. After being sent here, they were immediately used to produce venom horn dragons. 5,000 venom horn dragons were born, and all of them had the combat strength of an undying God King. Thereafter, these 5,000 venom horn dragons came to the abyss and joined Mo Sha's team. The poison department of the entire Dragon Palace was improving at a terrifying speed. Father, have you found any news about Deacon Zhou Feng from the Sky Edge sect? In a study room of the Sky Edge sect, a middle-aged man walked to the side of an old man, poured a cup of tea for him and asked. No, there's no news at all. The old man took a look at his son, shook his head, and said with a gloomy face. We're suspecting if the Dragon Palace did it. The Dragon Palace. It's possible. The Dragon Palace has a group of creepy creatures that are hiding in the void. If they assassinate the experts of the Sky Edge, thousands of us won't be able to escape. The middle-aged man nodded and said with indignation. We're not sure if it's the Dragon Palace. If it's really them, the Sky Edge will fight to the death with the Dragon Palace no matter what price we have to pay. The old man's eyes were filled with killing intent as he took a sip of tea. Yes, father. Even if we can't kill the Dragon King, we'll kill everyone around the Dragon King. The middle-aged man nodded. Seeing the old man drinking the tea, he pursed his lips and didn't continue. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, the surrounding space changed instantly, and a series of horrifying attacks came at the old man. Who's that? How dare you attack me? You're courting death. The old man sensed the horrifying attacks coming at him. His expression changed drastically as he roared violently. However, when he stood up, his face suddenly turned pale as he felt a wave of chaotic energy rushing in his body. Old thing, you still want the Dragon Palace to pay the price? Hee. At this moment, the middle-aged man beside him widened his eyes in disbelief. Why would my son suddenly say such a thing? Also, this chaotic energy in my body is poison? My son betrayed the Sky Edge sect? He widened his eyes, filled with anger and fear. Bam! However, before he could think any further, a horrifying attack fell on his body. This made him a little dazed. The injury is a little serious, but fortunately, a drop of vitality liquid was born in the moon bay of the Dragon Palace's ancient pool. At the last moment when he was in a daze, he heard a voice beside his ear. Chapter 27:16. Hee, after dealing with an elder, the rest will be much easier. In the study room, Orochi sat in the middle. At the side, an elder of the Sky Edge sect and a deacon stood there respectfully. Boss, what should we do next? Please instruct us. The two of them stood in front of Orochi respectfully. There are still 6 elders and a sect leader in the Sky Edge sect. Think of a way to parasitize a few more elders. It's best to parasitize the sect leader. Orochi squinted his eyes. Boss, according to my memory, the sect leader has a life-saving treasure. If we want to parasitize the sect leader, it's best if he's at the pinnacle of the undying God King realm. It's safer. If it's an elder, there's a great chance, the old man said. All right. Then let's parasitize 3 elders and proceed with the next step, Orochi said with a cold gaze. If they parasitized 3 more elders, the entire Sky Edge sect wouldn't be far from destruction. Yes, boss! After parasitizing an elder, it would be much easier to parasitize others. With the Heavenly Formation's special array to block any abnormal movements, it wouldn't be difficult for them to parasitize the elders. It was much easier than before. Soon, in less than 2 days, there were 3 more elders from the Sky Edge sect in front of Orochi. Hee, let's carry out the plan. Yamada no Orochi gave a sinister smile. Sect leader, there's news from the disciples who went to investigate that someone saw our people flying to the right. Half a day later, an elder came to the Sky Edge sect leader's palace and reported to him. Right? Why are they going to the right? The Sky Edge sect leader frowned and said with an ugly expression. I don't know, but the place where we met the Dragon King was on the right. Sect leader, I want to lead the Sky Edge experts to investigate with a few elders. The elder said. The World Edge sect master revealed a hesitant expression. I can bring more disciples this time and not enter the abyss. Also, I can split the teams so that we can react immediately if we encounter any trouble or the strange array of the Dragon Palace. I think it's best to investigate the disappearance of 5,000 to 6,000 disciples to see if the Dragon Palace did it secretly. That elder Tianya continued. It's fine as long as it's safe. However, you must pay attention to the strange array of the Dragon Palace. Once you get trapped, you'll be in big trouble. Why don't we inform the old ancestor? Sky Edge's sect master nodded and said, Sect master, there's no need to inform the patriarch about this. We're not going to fight against the experts of the Dragon Palace. We'll return to the Holy Kingdom if there's any danger. For this matter, I'll just call a few elders to come with me. Elder Tianya shook his head. All right, I trust you, Olden. Be careful. The World Edge sect master thought for a moment and nodded in agreement. Don't worry, headmaster. I'll call the 3 elders. Nothing will happen, Elder Tianya said with a smile. All right. The World Edge sect master nodded and watched him leave. If it's really the Dragon Palace's doing, then let's fight to the death. The World's Edge sect master muttered. They had already become stray dogs. If they were to be assassinated by the Dragon Palace at this time, the Sky Edge sect would go crazy. Boss, the plan is a success. When Elder Tianya walked out, he immediately took out his computer and sent a message. Subsequently, he went to look for the other elders. Great! At the same time, Orochi received the message and left immediately. Dragon King! A few hours later, Orochi flew over. Done? Wang Xian looked at him and asked with a smile. Done. We've parasitized 4 elders. Tomorrow, we'll kill the other 3. All the elders will be ours. Dragon King, if we take action tomorrow, we might need Tianjin to come and set up the array formation. Yamada no Orochi nodded with a smile. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile. This time, there will probably be tens of thousands of Undying God King experts. One of the subordinates who parasitized Elder Tianya can't go back. We can get 4 9th-level Undying God King corpses. I'm thinking of increasing my fighting strength to the pinnacle of Undying God King after we accumulate 10. By then, I can parasitize Sky Edge Sect Master. In that case, hee, Orochi said to Wang Xian with a sinister laugh. Sure. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Once the Sky Edge Sect Master was parasitized, the other 3 elders would be on his side. The entire Sky Edge Sect would be in his pocket. If the Sky Edge Sect knew that the elders and Sect Master were from the Dragon Palace, would they die in fear? Dragon King! 10 hours later, Tianjin rushed over. Discuss with Orochi about tomorrow's operation. It's best not to let anyone from the Sky Edge Sect go, Wang Xian said to Tianjin. Yes, Dragon King! Tianjin nodded and started planning with Orochi. All disciples stay 100 million kilometers apart. If you need to enter the abyss to investigate, the rest will wait outside. Be vigilant. There might be experts targeting us in the dark. Time passed quickly. The next morning, the 4 sect masters of the Sky Edge sect stood at the front and said to all the disciples, "Yes, elders!" Tens of thousands of Undying God King experts answered immediately. They also knew that the operation this time was to investigate if the disappearance of the experts from the Sky Edge sect was due to them being killed in the abyss or assassinated. If they were assassinated, they could be sure that it was the doing of the Dragon Palace. If that was the case, the Sky Edge sect would walk on a different path. "Brothers, be careful!" The elder who spoke looked at the other 3 and reminded. "Don't worry, if they could kill us, we don't need to live anymore." The other 3 elders said confidently. They were 9th Order Undying God King experts. If they were killed outside the abyss while being on high alert, they had no one to blame but themselves. They could only say that the other party was too strong, and they were too weak. As for this operation, they didn't think there was any danger at all. "Alright, since that's the case, I'll be the vanguard. The rest of you will spread out to the left, right, and back." The Sky Edge elder smiled and said, "Alright." The group nodded. "The few of you found the clues. You guys will lead the way." The leading elder said to the Undying God King disciples, "Yes, elder." The disciples immediately led the way. The leading elder's lips curved into a smile. The disciples beside him also revealed a smile. The few of them were naturally the venom-horned dragon. Chapter 27:17. There was no pop-up window for free reading. "Boss, get ready to receive the guests. With my current speed, we'll reach the destination in 20 minutes and 21 seconds. 90 degrees to the right, there's a team of 2,500 people. 90 degrees to the left, there's a team of 2,500 people. Directly behind, there's a team of 2,500 people. Led by 9th Order Undying God King Realm experts. Finish them off." In front of the abyss, the experts from Sky's Edge flew along the edge of the abyss. At the forefront, an elder from Sky's Edge sent out a message with a relaxed expression. "Tianjin, this is the message." At the same time, at the front, Orochi looked at the information on the brain and handed it to the heavenly formation beside him with a smile. "All right." Tianjin nodded after reading the message. He immediately went to set up the array. With the other party's precise location, it was a piece of cake for him to set up the array. Especially since the other party did not have any pinnacle Undying God King experts, it would not be easy for them to detect the array he set up. Another very important point was that with the venom-horned dragon parasitic Elder Tianya leading the way, Elder Tianya would instinctively lower his guard. In this case, it would be even easier to wipe them out in one fell swoop. "It's done. As long as your message isn't too far off, we can wipe them out in one fell swoop." 6 minutes later, Tianjin flew over and reported to Wang Xian. "Roving heavens, roving sword, roving demon, go and hide in the array over there." Wang Xian instructed roving heavens and the rest. "Yes, Dragon King!" The group nodded immediately. "I have to say that the venom-horned dragon species is too sinister and terrifying." Tianjin's eyes flickered as he spoke. He was also fearful of such a species, because he did not know if the person closest to him had been parasitized. "Hee, old man Tianjin, if you are more polite to me, you can just leave it to us from the poison department if you want revenge in the future. I guarantee they will die in fear. If you acknowledge me and Demon Fiend as your boss, we will protect you in the future." Orochi chuckled. Tianjin glanced at him without a word. Back then, as a Void God Emperor, he had fallen because of his disciples' betrayal. He, a God Emperor, was unable to escape from the plot of his own kin. How could the current World Edge sect avoid the plot of the Orochi and the others? Destroying a large sect was a piece of cake for him. "Dragon King, they are coming. Let's hide first." Yamata no Orochi's voice was heard. Wang Xian and the group immediately came to the concealment array at the side and looked ahead quietly. He was waiting for the fish to come. "Eldarin, we've been flying for 10 hours. There aren't many people around. Should we continue?" The group from the Sky Edge sect had already been flying for about 10 hours. An elder on the right side of the group glanced around and couldn't help but ask the elder from the Sky Edge sect in front. We'll fly for another 10 hours or so. If there's no news, we'll go back. Eldarin, who was at the front, said. The elder did not say anything after hearing this and continued to look around. Elder, in my opinion, we don't have to search. So many of our disciples disappeared at the same time. It's very likely that the Dragon Palace did it. We can just kill them. Do they really think that the Sky Edge sect is afraid of them? A warden on the right side of the group spoke to the elder beside him with a furious look. We still have to figure things out. You have to understand that if we fight them head-on, at least half of our Divine King experts will die. This isn't what we want to see. However, the people from the Sky Edge sect are not cowards. If it's really the Dragon Palace, we'll make them pay even if we suffer heavy losses. That elder from the Sky Edge sect said plainly. In their hearts, the elders and even the sect leader did not want to fight to the death with the Dragon Palace because the losses would be too great. Even they themselves might perish in the process. However, they had a bottom line. If this was really the Dragon Palace's doing and the Dragon Palace had been secretly assassinating their experts, they would not cower. If they cower, they would die a slow death. They might as well fight them head-on. This was also the reason why they wanted to investigate the disappearance of 5,000 to 6,000 experts from the Sky Edge sect. It was not necessary, and they did not want to fight the Dragon Palace knowing that they would suffer heavy losses. If you asked me, we'll fight them to the death. At most, we'll die. Who's afraid of who? The warden beside him was a loyal disciple of the Sky Edge sect. He spoke with rage. We still have a long way to go. The Dragon Palace will be annihilated by us in the future. The elder said with an equally cold expression. Annihilate the Dragon Palace? Hee. Just you guys? However, at this moment, an extremely cold voice was heard. 1. In the next moment, a strange space appeared around them. It was a sudden voice and a sudden change. When they saw the familiar strange space around them, everyone from the Sky Edge sect had a drastic change in expression. It's the Dragon Palace. It's the Dragon Palace. A stern roar came from one of the deacons. Boom! However, at this moment, a boundless and unstoppable attack came towards them. That elder from the Sky Edge sect felt the terrifying pressure and his expression changed drastically. Oh no, we've been ambushed by the Dragon Palace. There's a peak undying God King expert. His face was filled with shock as he roared. They had actually been ambushed. There was a formation trap here. However, an elder from the Sky Edge sect had just checked on them. Theoretically, at such a close distance, even if it was a formation set up by a peak undying God King expert, their elder should be able to sense it. After all, the distance was too close. 10 million kilometers was just a short distance to experts like them. Boom! Before they could think too much, a destructive energy fell on their bodies. No! That elder from the Sky Edge sect was horrified as he shouted in fear. It's really the Dragon Palace. It's really the Dragon Palace. Arg! I'll kill you all! The deacon's eyes were bloodshot as he roared furiously. However, in the face of absolute power, they couldn't resist at all. More than 2,000 undying God King experts behind them died instantly the moment the law energy hit them. They couldn't resist at all. Dragon King, our Sky Edge sect will never let you off! That elder's body slowly crumbled as he let out a final roar of despair. His life was slowly dissipating. Arg! The warden beside him also roared in despair. However, just as his life was about to dissipate, a red light suddenly flew out from his body. In the next moment, the red light disappeared mysteriously. Huh! At this moment, Roving Heaven's surprised voice was heard as he frowned slightly. Dragon King, there seems to be an accident. He looked around, broke the formation, and spoke to the outside with a frown. Chapter 27:18. Dragon King, it's done. We've killed all of them. None escaped. When Roving Heavens broke out of the array, Roving Sword, Roving Demon, and the rest also broke out of the array. Roving Sword, a level 9 Immortal King Dragon Guard, and a level 9 Immortal King Mad Dragon attacked with the World's Edge Ruler, annihilating everyone from the Sky Edge sect with ease. Roving Demon led a few hundred underlings to launch an assassination. After killing Elder Tianya, the rest were also annihilated easily. Needless to say, Elder Tianya was parasitized and annihilated the rest easily. Roving Heavens, did something happen on your side? Wang Xian stood outside and saw the group of Dragon Palace members coming out. He looked at the surrounding corpses and looked at Roving Heavens doubtfully. Roving Heavens was now a pinnacle immortal king. There shouldn't be any accidents on his side. I'm not too sure. When I killed the Sky Edge Deacon, a red light flew out of his body. After it flew out, it disappeared. I don't know what it was. Roving Heavens frowned and said. The universe was vast and there were all kinds of treasures, including life-saving treasures. Take Wang Xian's soul-returning fluid for example. Even if his body was completely destroyed, he could still be resurrected. Others might also have obtained such heaven-defying treasures. Therefore, when Roving Heavens saw the red light, he felt a little strange. Dragon King, I also sensed a special energy passing through the array and disappearing instantly. Tianjin said with a frown. It's highly possible that the Sky Edge Deacon obtained some powerful treasures and escaped. Wang Xian was deep in thought. Given the strange situation, he must have obtained the treasures and escaped. If he could obtain treasures, so could others. Dragon King, once someone escapes, the news of us killing the Sky Edge sect will be exposed. Why don't I get my underlings to kill the guy who escaped? Orochi suggested. There were only 3 elders left in the Sky Edge sect. All 3 of them were parasitized and were on their side. It's best if we can stop the guy who escaped. If not, so be it. What can they do even if they know? Wang Xian nodded to Orochi. I'll inform them immediately. Yamada no Orochi immediately took out his supercomputer and gave orders to his 3 subordinates. The Dragon Palace actually ambushed us? They've been following us? Dead, the elders and the others are all dead. If I hadn't obtained the thread of red dust treasure back then, I would have been dead by now. Dragon Palace, Dragon King, all of you deserve to die. All of you deserve to die. I'm going to report this to the sect leader Laozu and elders. Destroy the Dragon Palace. Destroy the Dragon Palace. At this moment, within an immortal divine kingdom located within a crack in the void, a figure surrounded by red veins was floating. His face was filled with excitement. With a wave of his arm, a spare communication stone plate appeared in front of him. This was the backup communication method of the top-notch experts of the World Edge sect, and it could be used to contact the experts of the World Edge. Without any hesitation, he sent the news to the elders, sect leader, and patriarch. At the same time, when the sect leader and patriarch of the Horizon sect received the news, their expressions changed drastically. They immediately flew towards his location. Dragon King, it's too late to stop them. The news is about to be leaked. In front of the abyss, when the sect leader and patriarch of the Sky Edge sect flew over, they received the news as well. So be it. No matter what the Sky Edge sect does next, they won't be able to hide from us. We can still use some methods to slowly hunt them down. Wang Xian chuckled. He wasn't the least bit concerned that the Sky Edge sect knew that the Dragon Palace was trying to assassinate them. Currently, the Sky Edge sect only had 6 level 9 Immortal King experts and above. The 3 elders were on the same side. Once the Sky Edge sect made a move, they would definitely not hide it from the Dragon Palace. Their actions were no different from sending themselves to their deaths. Hee, I'll get Demon Shot to work hard and get me 6 level 9 Immortal King Abyssal Corpses. In a few days, I'll be the sect leader of the Sky Edge sect. Baki laughed sinisterly. Ka ka ka! At this moment, in the void, the Sky Edge sect's 2 old ancestors, sect leader, and 3 elders floated in the air with gloomy expressions. With a wave of their hands, a crack appeared in the space in front of them. In their vision, an immortal divine kingdom appeared in front of them. The 6 of them moved and instantly arrived inside the immortal divine kingdom. Old ancestor! Old ancestor! Just as the group entered, a shrill voice could be heard. Within the immortal divine kingdom, a red blood silhouette floated there. Seeing the arrival of the old ancestors, he was extremely excited. Xiao Yu, what happened? Old Ancestor Sky Edge asked coldly when he saw Deacon Tian's miserable state. Old Ancestor, we, Eldarin, and Elder Zhao were searching for news of the disciples. In the end, we were enveloped by an array. An undying God King Pinnacle expert from the Dragon Palace attacked and killed all of us. I managed to survive because I obtained a treasure previously. Old Ancestor, the elders are all dead. You must avenge them. Avenge them! Deacon Tian shouted emotionally. Dragon Palace ambushed you? All the elders were killed? His words made the faces of the two patriarchs of the Sky Edge sect reveal violent expressions. Yes, I don't know if the rest escaped. Deacon Tian shook his head in anger. Did you see the undying God King Pinnacle expert from the Dragon Palace? Sect leader Tian's expression changed. No, I didn't see the person, but I am 100% sure that it was the Dragon Palace. Deacon Tian shook his head. Old Ancestor, Eldarin, Elder Zhao, and the rest are all dead. We must avenge them! One of the elders on the side roared, his body trembling. Old Ancestor, give the order. We will fight to the death with the Dragon Palace. Fight to the death! Sect leader Tian's roared. The three elders at the side responded in unison. Ha ha ha! They killed so many of our experts and are still assassinating them. If we don't avenge them, what's the point of living? Our Sky Edge sect has been established for close to 100 million years. We have never feared anyone. This time, even if we die, we must make the Dragon Palace pay a terrible price. One of the ancestors roared with a maniacal laugh. Kill, kill, kill! An old ancestor at the side shouted 3 times. His body trembled as he looked at the surrounding Sky Edge sect. Dragon Palace assassinated us. Find Protector D first. Whether Protector D helps or not, we must be prepared to fight to the death. Chapter 27:19. The Dragon Palace has occupied our territory, but they sold the land to Heaven Shattering and 9 Heaven sects. The Dragon Palace has occupied the sea. If we want to take revenge, we can bring our men to destroy their sea base. At the back of the hall, an elder roared with killing intent. Yes, we can send our men to destroy their sea base. The Imperial Court won't be able to do anything to us. Another elder from the World's Edge sect agreed. The Dragon Palace is stronger than us. They might be able to predict our revenge. The other elder furrowed his brows. The 2 old ancestors sat there with gloomy faces. Old Ancestor, I think we can kill one of them first. We can take our revenge later. The Sky Edge sect master suddenly said. Everyone looked at him, waiting for his reply. Bei Shuang, the disciple of the Dragon King. According to what I know, the disciple of the Dragon King is hunting the Abyss Demon with the princesses of the Imperial Court. As long as we set up a good plan, we will be able to eliminate the disciple of the Dragon King. His disciple is known as the Goddess of Frost. Many people say that she has the potential of a great emperor. If we kill her, the Dragon King will be furious. The Sky Edge sect master said coldly. Goddess of Frost, Bei Shuang? The eyes of the 2 old ancestors and 3 elders flickered. Old Ancestor, I think it's feasible. Isn't the Dragon King trying to kill our people? Then we will kill his people and his disciple. One of the elders immediately followed up with a cold voice. All right, let's start with the disciple of the Dragon King. We will take our revenge bit by bit. The Sky Edge Old Ancestor Phone Yazi decided. Old Ancestor, let me do it. I will definitely cut off Bei Shuang's head and send it to the Dragon King. One of the elders said. If an elder makes a move, the other party might escape. Moreover, if the disciple of the Dragon King is protected by an expert, it will alert the enemy. The Sky Edge sect master said. Then the 3 of us will go and bring a dozen deacons with us. A Tianya elder said in a deep voice. No need, I will do it myself. The Sky Edge Old Ancestor Wulin suddenly said. Old ancestor, you are going to do it yourself? An 8th order immortal king god king. I'm going to cut off the head of the Dragon King's disciple myself. The World Edge sect master and the others were slightly shocked, but they were interrupted by Wu Lingue. Ancestor, are you going to fight alone? Do you still need our cooperation? A Tianya elder said. No need, I can do it myself. Wu Lining said coldly. Then I'll immediately order my disciples to investigate Bei Shuang's information. The World Edge sect master immediately said. Go, send the core disciples to investigate. I want to know the whereabouts of the Dragon King's disciple within 3 days. Old ancestor World's Edge, Wu Linjin said coldly. It's the old ancestor. The sect master of the World's Edge and the 3 elders immediately replied before walking out. World's Edge's revenge was about to begin. Eh? Old ancestor Sky's Edge is going to personally kill North Frost. However, the Sky Edge sect would never have imagined that Wang Xian would receive this news just an hour later. When he saw this message, his eyes flashed with a cold luster. Dragon King, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the Oreo behind. We can use Lady Bei Shuang as the bait. If there's only a pinnacle undying god king, we can definitely kill him. Orochi's eyes flickered as he said. It'll take some time to kill a pinnacle undying god king, but it's doable. Wang Xian pondered and the corner of his lips curled up. However, we have a better method. Now that the Imperial Court has announced that humans are forbidden from fighting each other during the war, once everyone knows that the Sky Edge sect attacked North Frost, will the Imperial Court let them go? Even if the Imperial Court doesn't annihilate them, our Dragon Palace can totally prepare to attack the Sky Edge sect directly. In that case, the Imperial Court can't say anything. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he said. Dragon King, according to the news we received, the Sky Edge sect has a good relationship with the Protector. Will the Imperial Court? Orochi said. Since the Imperial Court didn't help the Sky Horizon sect, they should still abide by the rules. Moreover, when the old ancestor of the Sky Horizon sect intercepted Bei Shuang, the Emperor Star Princess, and the other princesses would be witnesses. They are the princesses of the Imperial Court. They are the princesses of the Imperial Court, Wang Xian said plainly. The current strength of the Dragon Palace had completely surpassed the Sky Edge sect. If not for the rules of the Imperial Court, the army of the Dragon Palace could annihilate the Sky Edge sect directly. However, since the Sky Edge sect violated the rules of the Imperial Court, the Dragon Palace could also attack the Sky Edge sect with great fanfare and kill their experts. By then, the Imperial Court would have nothing to say. Tianjin, Roving Heavens, Roving Sword, the few of you follow me to the frontline planet of the Imperial Court. Orochi, once you have any news, report to me immediately, especially the time when the Sky Edge old ancestor kills North Frost. Wang Xian said to the group. Yes, Dragon King. Orochi and the rest nodded immediately. Let's go. Wang Xian moved and immediately flew towards the frontline planet of the Imperial Court. When he arrived at the courtyard where the Emperor Star Princess stayed, he took a glance and didn't see her and the rest. Roving Heavens, Roving Demon, go into the abyss and contact the Dragon Guards to ensure North Frost's safety. Also, don't let anyone from the Sky Edge sect notice you. Wang Xian was a little worried as he instructed Roving Heavens and Roving Demon. Yes, Dragon King. Roving Heavens and the rest nodded and flew out immediately. Wang Xian did this to prevent North Frost and the rest from being killed by the Sky Edge old ancestor the moment they left the abyss. After all, he had to be fully prepared. His disciple was not someone who could be killed by just anyone. Wang Xian, I heard from the Dragon Guards that you're back. A day later, Wang Xian heard the voice of the Emperor Star Princess. Following which, Wang Xian saw a few figures walking over. The Emperor Star Princess and North Frost walked together, followed by a few Dragon Guards. One of the Dragon Guards had the battle prowess of a 9th-level immortal god king. How was it? How's the harvest? Wang Xian looked at them and asked with a smile. We've gained a lot during this period of time. It's all thanks to Sister North Frost. Sister North Frost's art of ice is too powerful. The Emperor Star Princess said happily. Moreover, I'll be able to exchange for a treasure soon. In no time, I'll be able to advance to the second level Immortal God King. She continued. Congratulations, babe. Are you going out for the next few days? Wang Xian chuckled and asked them. Of course. We've agreed with senior sister and the rest to enter the abyss a day later. Hee, I still want my name to appear on the hero leaderboard. The Emperor Star Princess lifted her head and said with fighting spirit. Chapter 2720 Wonderful Pop-Up Window Free Reading. Wang Xian chatted with Emperor Star Maiden and Bei Shuang for a while. The two of them had been in the abyss for 6 days and had killed dozens of Immortal God King Abyss creatures. Emperor Star Maiden's team was considered one of the stronger ones in the Imperial Court. After all, only the elders of the Imperial Court had the strength of a 9th Order Immortal God King. Their 8th Order Immortal God King combat strength was considered decent in the Abyss battlefield. We're going to have a good sleep. It's not good to be on guard in the Abyss. After saying that, the Emperor Star Maiden entered the room with Bei Shuang to rest. Dragon King, the news of Bei Shuang's return has reached the Sky Edge sect. At this moment, Orochi spoke to Wang Xian. Oh? That's fast. Wang Xian smiled, sat there and took a sip of tea. Hee, Dragon King, one of the disciples who went to investigate is on our side. Orochi chuckled. Wang Xian's lips curved into a smile when he heard this. The news that Sky Edge wanted was something that the Dragon Palace had purposely given to him. I guess the Sky Edge old ancestor will strike when Miss Bei Shuang leaves tomorrow, Orochi said plainly. Make sure you're fully prepared tomorrow, Wang Xian said to Tianjin. Yes. Tianjin nodded. Wang Xian, we're leaving. We have to continue fighting. The next morning, the Emperor Star Princess walked out of her room and stretched lazily as she spoke with a smile. Be careful. Wang Xian nodded his head at her. Don't worry. With Sister Bei Shuang and the Dragon Guards around, we won't be in danger. Emperor Star Maiden smiled. Master, don't worry. We'll be very careful. Bei Shuang added. Go on, Wang Xian said. The two of them nodded and headed out. North Frost, Star Lady, a few hours ago, Deaconing came to us and invited us to hunt an abyssal race. They've already thoroughly investigated the strength of that abyssal race, and the rewards should be great. What do you think? Just as the two of them walked out of the courtyard, a few hundred people walked over and asked them. Deaconing? When the Emperor Star Maiden heard this, she frowned. Yes, it's your team. The princess in the lead looked at her and said. The person she was referring to was the Emperor Star Daughter's father, Di Haosong. It's fine. He is him and I am me. It has nothing to do with me. Senior sister, did you agree to the deacon's invitation? The Emperor Star Maiden relaxed her brows as she spoke. Now, she was doing much better than her father. With her current status in the Imperial Court, some deacons would be polite to her, but they wouldn't be polite to her father. The main reason was that she had an 8th Order Immortal King Realm and 3 7th Order Immortal King Realm Guards. And her 5th Order Undying God King Starry Space Towering Snake Battle Pet. Not yet. If you don't have any objections, I will accept the deacon's invitation. The princess shook her head with a smile. Agree. The Emperor Star Maiden said. All right, let's go there directly. They'll be leaving soon. The princess nodded her head and the group flew ahead. Soon, 700 to 800 people gathered on a mountain peak in front of the planet. Deaconing, this time, we ladies will be fighting alongside you. When the group arrived at the mountain peak, the princess in the lead said with a smile. Ha ha ha, welcome. Welcome the geniuses, welcome the ice goddess, welcome the Star Maiden. On the peak of the mountain, an old man immediately went up to welcome them and said with a big smile. Everyone looked over, their gazes landing on North Frost and the Emperor Star Maiden, who were relatively more dazzling. Di Haosong, your daughter. At the back, a lady smiled at the middle-aged man beside her. Di Haosong remained expressionless and didn't say a word. Speaking of which, Brother Haosong's daughter is quite a popular figure in the Imperial Court. A middle-aged man looked over and said, "Unfortunately, our dissolute son, D. Haosong, didn't treat them well. In the end, they refused to acknowledge him." "Ha ha." Another middle-aged man said gloatingly. "Shut up." D. Haosong's face sank as he said awkwardly, "Hee hee, I'm just kidding." A middle-aged man chuckled and didn't seem to care. Clearly, he wasn't afraid of him. With the Ice Goddess and Star Maiden, it'll be much easier to hunt the Abyss race. Let's go. We'll set off immediately. Up ahead, Deaconing said to them. All right. The group of girls nodded and flew towards the Abyss under Deacon Ying's lead. Has the news been spread? At the same time, Wang Xian and the group appeared not far behind them. Dragon King, the news has been spread. The planet where the Sky Edge sect is located isn't far from here. Given the speed of the Sky Edge Old Ancestor, he should be able to intercept them before they enter the Abyss. I wonder if the Sky Edge Old Ancestor will strike after they enter the Abyss or before. Orochi said. Roving Heavens, Tianjin, pay attention to the direction of the Sky Edge sect. Wang Xian said. Yes. The two of them nodded. After which, the group followed from afar. After flying out of the planet, the North Frost Emperor Star Maiden and the group flew towards the left of the Abyss. They needed to fly for more than 5 hours to reach their destination. At the entrance of the Abyss, they could see countless people going in and out. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that billions of people entered the Abyss every day. Wang! You can only blame yourself for being the disciple of the Dragon King. At this moment, on the right of the Emperor Star Maiden and the group, a white flame was drifting in the void at a terrifying speed. Within the flame, a pair of eyes filled with murderous intent stared at North Frost and the group. It was waiting for the best opportunity. Dragon King! I see it! At this moment, Wang Xian and the group, who were hiding behind, also noticed the white flame. Wang Xian squinted his eyes as the yin-yang 5 elements dragon eyes flickered. Get ready! It's a piece of cake for a pinnacle immortal king to kill an 8th level immortal king. Don't let him hurt North Frost, Wang Xian said. Don't worry, Dragon King. Tianjin and Roving Heavens nodded and were ready. This is the time. When Bei Shuang and the others had been flying for 3 hours, the number of people around them had decreased significantly. A low growl was heard from within the white flame. The flame on his body intensified as he locked on to North Frost at a terrifying speed. Attack! On Wang Xian's side, Roving Heavens, Tianjin, Roving Sword, and Orochi made their move. Chapter 27-21 Boom! The flourishing flames slowly condensed into a humanoid figure covered in flames. His face could not be seen clearly, but one could feel his incomparably terrifying might. The figure shrouded in flames slowly stretched out a palm. The palm turned into a claw and attacked Bei Shuang. Everything happened in an instant. What terrifying flames! Not good, someone's attacking! When the Emperor's star daughter Bei Shuang and the others sensed the terrifying flames, their expressions changed drastically. Deaconing, who was the leader, immediately turned his head and saw the flaming figure that was attacking them. His pupils shrank slightly. Not good! His heart trembled. His target is the Frost Goddess. However, in the next moment, he sensed the target of the Flame Man. His expression changed slightly, and he shouted loudly. Roar! Die! A furious roar came from the flaming figure. What? Up ahead, Bei Shuang was shocked to see a flaming figure suddenly appear and attack him. She found that she couldn't dodge the enemy's attack at all. She didn't even have time to return to her undying divine kingdom. Am I going to die just like that? At this moment, Bei Shuang was incomparably calm as he stood there in a daze. She could foresee that she would be killed in the next moment. The surrounding people had only just reacted. Boom! At this moment, 2 incomparably terrifying energies attacked the Flaming Man. Who is it? The Flaming Man saw that his attack was about to land on the disciple of the Dragon King. However, when he sensed the terrifying attack, his expression changed slightly. If he was hit by these 2 attacks, he would be heavily injured. This filled him with murderous intent as he roared. You want to kill our Dragon King's disciple? Do you have a death wish? A cold voice sounded. Buzz! As his voice fell, a wave of energy enveloped the entire area. A strange black hole appeared irregularly in the void. Dragon Palace! The flame being saw the changes in its surroundings and widened its eyes in shock. A peak divine king expert from the Dragon Palace was protecting the disciple of the Dragon King? How was this possible? A peak god king protecting an 8th order immortal king realm expert? Walala! Right at this moment, numerous blood-red chains wrapped around Bei Shuang and the others and protected them. Roar! In the next moment, a gigantic sea-steadying godly pillar smashed towards the flaming man. Boom! Soon after, a huge ruler appeared with Orochi and the others standing on it. Terrifying attacks were released from the World Edge ruler towards the flaming man. Tianjin also stood on the World's Edge ruler. He waved his arm and a formation slowly appeared. Dragon Palace, you know about our operation? At this moment, the flaming man, Old Master Sky's Edge, saw that all the peak god kings of the Dragon Palace were present. Widening his eyes, he roared out furiously. At the same time, he was also a little frightened. This was obviously a trap. How did the Dragon Palace know that he was going to kill Bei Shuang? Seeing that Dragon Palace had at least 3 undying god kings, his expression turned ugly. He had fallen into a trap. Your operation? Who are you? How dare you kill our Dragon King's disciple? Roving Heavens asked coldly as he stared at Old Ancestor Sky Edge despite knowing the answer. GGG, if it wasn't for us noticing something, our young lady Bei Shuang would have been killed by you. An undying God King Realm expert assassinating an 8th Order God King Realm expert, how shameless can you be? On the World's Edge ruler, Yamada also asked despite knowing the answer. Their words were purposely directed at the group of princesses and experts of the imperial court. You guys were nearby. Coincidentally? Old Ancestor Sky Edge was in disbelief when he heard their words. How could there be such a coincidence? How could there be such a coincidence? Someone actually wants to assassinate the goddess of ice, and it's even an undying god king expert. Who is this expert? Why does he want to assassinate Bei Shuang? Fortunately, the experts of the Dragon Palace suddenly appeared. Look, the Dragon Palace mobilized 3 undying god kings? How terrifying, and the surrounding formation is so strange. When the experts of the Imperial Court who were protected by the chains saw this, they discussed in shock. An undying god king actually wanted to assassinate the goddess of ice? Who is he? How dare he assassinate his own kind at this time? Our Imperial Court has given the order that no one is allowed to kill anyone. Otherwise, if discovered, they will be killed immediately. Even an undying god king is not allowed. He is challenging our Imperial Court. Beside Bei Shuang, one of the princesses from the same team stared coldly at the flaming man in the sky. Imperial Court's rules were not something even an undying god king could violate. Leave him here. Water formation, floating water torrent. Just then, the voice of the formation came from the side. A terrifying torrent charged towards Old Ancestor Sky Edge. Damn it! Old Ancestor Sky Edge's expression changed when he saw the terrifying attack. He knew that he couldn't hide anymore. If he did, he would be left here. One! He waved his arm and a fire pagoda appeared in his hand. On the fire pagoda, a flame torrent clashed with the water torrent. It's you, Old Ancestor Sky Edge! So it's you, Old Ancestor Sky Edge. No wonder you wanted to assassinate our Dragon King's disciple. However, the Imperial Court has a rule that humans are not allowed to kill each other. Your Sky Edge dares to disregard the rule? Courting death! When he released the pagoda, Orochi's lips curled as he roared. Old Ancestor Sky Edge. I didn't expect him to be the Old Ancestor of Sky Edge. He's so despicable to assassinate Miss Bei Shuang. This is too shameless. Sky Edge isn't a match for the Dragon Palace. How dare they try to assassinate the Goddess of Frost? Most importantly, Sky Edge dares to violate the rules of the Imperial Court. Are they courting death? As expected, when Orochi's voice was heard, the experts of the Imperial Court roared furiously. Especially those who were in the same team as the North Frost Imperial Star Princess. They could be considered as one of their own. Dragon Palace, you have killed so many people from Sky Edge. We swear that we will make you pay a hefty price. Just you wait. Old Ancestor Sky Edge roared when he heard Orochi's words. He had failed in this operation. Most importantly, Sky Edge had violated the rules of the Imperial Court. This infuriated him. Make our Dragon Palace pay the price. You have to pay the price for attacking our Dragon King's disciple. Roving Heavens and the rest roared as they attacked Old Ancestor Sky Edge. Chapter 27-22 1 second to remember wonderful pop-up window free reading. Boom boom boom! A terrifying attack shot towards Old Ancestor Sky Horizon. Orochi and the rest controlled the Heaven's Edge ruler, while Roving Heavens charged forward and set up the Heaven Array. It could be said to be 3 against 1. Facing the attacks from Roving Heavens and the other two, Patriarch Sky Edge's expression changed drastically. Flee, flee, flee! When Old Ancestor Sky's Edge saw Roving Heavens and the rest surrounding him, a tinge of panic flashed in his eyes. Without any hesitation, he dodged to the back. Fire Layer Pagoda, exploding flames! With a loud roar, the blazing pagoda flew towards Roving Heavens and the rest. With a wave of his arm, the blazing pagoda attacked the black hole disruption array behind them. Trying to escape? Roving Heavens' body jerked, and the blood-red chains on his body coiled around Patriarch Sky's Edge. Damn it! I can't let them entangle me. Otherwise, I'll be finished. Dragon Palace has one more Peak God King expert than the previous time. Old Ancestor Sky's Edge's expression was extremely ugly. He dodged the attacks of the chains anxiously and attacked the array formation with all his might. Formation, Light Divine Spear! When the heavenly array saw that he was desperately trying to break the array and escape, he frowned slightly. With a wave of his arm, an array was formed. The light flashed and instantly pierced towards Old Ancestor Sky Horizon. This is bad. This array master's strength is terrifying. Even in a one-on-one fight, I am no match for him. When Tianjin saw the terrifying radiant divine spear, his face turned ugly and he gritted his teeth. Fiery pagoda, block it for me! His eyes were bloodshot as he roared. The 1-meter-tall pagoda instantly expanded to 10,000 times its original size, completely blocking his body. Boom! The divine spear of light landed on it, and directly sank into the fire tower. The entire fire tower trembled violently, and in an instant, half of it was penetrated. Pooh! The divine artifact he had nurtured was heavily damaged, and Patriarch Sky Horizon spat out a mouthful of blood. He gritted his teeth and continued to attack the black hole array formation. Ka ka ka! The fire pagoda bought him some time, and cracks appeared on the formation. Break! At this moment, Roving Heavens and Heaven's Edge ruler attacked the fire pagoda in front of them. Boom! The violent collision almost caused the entire fire tower to fall apart. Some of the metal materials flew everywhere. Crack! But at this time, Old Ancestor Skyline also broke through the array formation. He spat out blood, and even blood flowed out from the corners of his eyes. He turned his head around and looked at Roving Heavens and the rest with a hideous expression. Dragon Palace, just you wait. We'll fight to the death! He roared as his figure slowly dissipated. Fight to the death? Wang Xian stood outside the array formation. When he heard the voice, his face was filled with mockery. The array formation dissipated, and he immediately flew inside. The Dragon King is here. The group of experts from the Imperial Court whispered to Wang Xian softly as they watched Old Ancestor Sky's Horizon escape. Wang Xian! Master! The Emperor Star Princess was too weak. She couldn't even see a battle of this level. Bei Shuang greeted Wang Xian with a smile. Well, it's good that you're fine. Wang Xian nodded at them and landed on the Horizon ruler. Let's go. Since the Horizon sect dared to kill my disciple, we'll make them pay the price in blood. Let's kill them, he said to Orochi and the others with a stern face. Annihilate the Horizon sect. With a loud roar, roving heavens moved and landed on the Heaven's Edge ruler. 1. In the next moment, the Horizon ruler spun and flew towards the planet where the Horizon sect was at a terrifying speed. The Dragon King and the rest are killing their way to the Horizon sect? Our guardians seem to have arranged for the Horizon sect to be on a planet. Isn't it against the rules for the Dragon King and the rest to kill their way there? What rules? Old Ancestor Sky Horizon is here to kill Miss Bei Shuang. Why aren't the Dragon King and the rest heading over? Moreover, the Horizon sect has violated the rules. Even if the Dragon Palace doesn't do anything, the Imperial Court might annihilate them. The group from the Imperial Court commented as they saw Wang Xian and the rest heading over. I'm sorry, but I'd like to make a trip over. Bei Shuang looked at Warden Ying and the rest as she spoke. Me too. I couldn't react in time. The old ancestor of the Horizon sect is too shameless. A pinnacle undying god king assassinated Sister Bei Shuang. Let's go and see Wang Xian annihilate them. The Emperor Star Princess spoke immediately. We'll go with you guys. The rest of the princesses pondered for a moment before they spoke up. Since something like this had happened, they naturally couldn't go to the abyss. Let's go and take a look as well. We're not in a hurry anyway. Warden Ying and the rest hesitated for a moment before deciding to go and take a look. The group immediately flew towards the location of the planets. When we get there, destroy their entire planet. Kill as many as you can. Get the members of the poison department to hide carefully. On the Horizon ruler, Wang Xian spoke to Orochi with cold eyes. Yes, Dragon King. I'll inform them now. Orochi nodded and laughed sinisterly. Hee, annihilate a large sect. Huff huff. However, old ancestor Sky Horizon, Wu Lin Jin, appeared in a crack in the void, panting heavily. His entire face was hideous, and his body was filled with a violent aura. Damn it, we actually failed. Did the Dragon Palace know about this beforehand, or did they encounter it by chance? How could it be so coincidental? He clenched his fist tightly and roared furiously. Many people saw me strike. Damn it, I've broken the rules of the Imperial Court. This won't do. I have to report this to Protector D. Report this to Protector D. Old Ancestor Sky Horizon, Wu Lin Jin, roared and immediately contacted Protector D through the AI. Seeing that there was no immediate reply, he immediately flew out of the Holy Kingdom and headed towards the nearest planet. The hiding place of his eternal Holy Kingdom was extremely secluded and far from the Abyss battlefield. Even if he used the teleportation array, it would take him several hours. No, I have to report to Senior Brother Feng first. After flying for a few minutes, Wu Lin Jin suddenly had a bad premonition. He immediately told Masako about it. Subsequently, he rushed towards the Abyss battlefield as fast as he could. What? At this moment, old ancestor Sky Horizon, Masako, who was in the Abyss battlefield, received the news. Her expression changed drastically as she stood up abruptly. How is this possible? How could we encounter the group of experts from the Dragon Palace so coincidentally? There are other experts from the Imperial Court who saw Junior Brother Wu Lin Jin strike. The expression on Masako's face kept changing. It was dark and uncertain. Killing is prohibited in the Imperial Court. If the Dragon Palace reports this to the Imperial Court, the Sky Horizon sects might be punished. We have to look for Protector D. We also have to prevent a sudden attack from the Dragon Palace. He roared with a gloomy face. All disciples of the immortal divine kings from the Sky Horizon sects, gather. Chapter 27-23. Patriarch! Patriarch! In the hall of the Imperial Court, the sect master of the World's Edge and 3 elders flew over. When they saw the old ancestor's sullen face, they were slightly shocked and quickly called out. Your ancestor Wu failed and was ambushed by 3 undying God King Peak experts from Dragon Palace. Someone from the Imperial Court saw us and attacked. Our World Edge sect has broken the rules, Old Ancestor Sky Edge said with a sullen face. What? The Old Ancestor actually failed. Old Ancestor, the Imperial Dynasty experts noticed us. Old Ancestor, what should we do now? As soon as he finished speaking, the sect master of the World's Edge and the three elders asked with faces full of fear. I'll go look for Protector D. You guys will take charge of things here. Gather all the disciples and be careful of the Dragon King's men. Old Ancestor World's Edge immediately ordered. It's the Old Ancestor. The World Edge sect master and the others nodded. Buzz! Old Ancestor Sky's Edge didn't hesitate. His figure flashed, and he instantly left. Sect master, now we... An elder from the World's Edge looked at the sect leader at the side with an ugly expression. Gather all disciples above the God King realm in the main hall and wait for news. Send disciples to stand guard outside. The sect master of the World's Edge clenched his fists and said, Yes. The three elders immediately ordered all of the disciples to wait here and a few disciples to be on guard. After that, the World's Edge's headmaster and the elders sat at the back of the hall and waited quietly. A group of experts from the World Edge sects gathered together and discussed among themselves. They knew that the World Edge sect seemed to be in danger again this time. To the experts and disciples of the World Edge sect, this was extremely frustrating. Ever since they were defeated by the Dragon Palace, they had lost their former glory. Thinking back to when they were on the Demon Island, who dared to provoke them? All those who dared to provoke the World's Edge sect had to die. As the experts and core disciples of the World Edge sect, they enjoyed all the glory, splendor, wealth, women, and wealth were at their fingertips. Now they were like stray dogs. It's all because of the Dragon King. It's all because of the damned Dragon Palace. One day, I'll definitely take revenge. I'll kill all of them and torture all of their women to death. In the main hall, a disciple of the World Edge sect roared violently. That is? What a powerful divine artifact. What kind of divine artifact is it? Who are those people up there? They're so fast and they're so powerful. At the same time, the World's Edge ruler was flying at a terrifying speed on the planets at the front lines of the Imperial Court. Some experts from the Imperial Court's cold night island looked at the World's Edge ruler in shock. Dragon King, the planet in front of us is where the Tianya sect is located. A few minutes later, the World Horizon ruler appeared in front of the planet where the World Horizon sect was located. Attack! Destroy them! Wan Xian's eyes gleamed coldly as he ordered immediately. It's Dragon King! In the next moment, roving heavens leaped up and transformed into a berserk dragon species. The sea-calming divine needle appeared in his hand. He waved it and smashed it towards the star where the World Edge sect was located. Kill! His roar could be heard clearly from hundreds of millions of kilometers away. Buzz! At the same time, the Horizon ruler also unleashed a devastating attack. Fuck, what's going on? This is... The surrounding experts and disciples of various forces who were paying attention to the mighty aura of the World's Edge ruler had a drastic change in their expressions when they saw roving heavens and the World's Edge ruler unleashing their attacks. The destructive power of a pinnacle immortal God King! What are they doing? One of the Eighth Order God King realm experts widened his eyes in shock as he looked at Huang Xiaolong. Boom! Two incomparably terrifying attacks instantly arrived above the planet of the Horizon Great Sect. The experts from the World Edge sect who were on high alert were stunned. Pinnacle Immortal God King's attack! Run! An expert from the World Edge sect could not help but shout. Not good, hide! At the back of the planet hall, an elder immediately pulled up the World Edge sect master beside him and hurriedly hid into the distance. Run back to the Eternal Celestial Nation! At this time, the World Edge sect leader also reacted and shouted in fear when he felt the destructive attack. Boom! At this time, the boundless energy landed on the planet. Some of the experts who did not react in time were stunned. The destructive power of two pinnacle immortal God Kings landed on the planet, causing the entire planet to crumble. The faces of the God King experts in the hall were filled with shock. The figures of those who reacted quickly vanished instantly. However, there were more god kings who could not react in time. The boundless energy landed in front of them, and in an instant, tens of thousands of immortal god kings were killed. Moreover, under this energy, experts continued to fall at a terrifying speed. Some of the experts nearby stared blankly at this scene. The entire planet was destroyed. Who are they? That's the Imperial Court's planet. Who are they to dare to cause trouble here? A cry of surprise came from one of the experts nearby. That boundless energy caused their hearts to tremble. A planet was destroyed in an instant. They could sense that there were many experts on the planet. Roving demon, quickly collect all the corpses inside. Wang Xian looked at the destruction of the planet, and his lips curled. After this attack, other than the dead, the rest escaped back to their god nations. However, he could sense that there were at most tens of thousands of immortal god kings that escaped from the World Edge sect. In other words, 30 to 40,000 experts died under the attack of Roving Heavens and the World's Edge ruler. It's the Dragon King! Roving Demon and the others moved and immediately flew forward. Who dares to cause trouble in our Imperial Court? Just at this moment, an expert's voice rang out from the surrounding planets. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings and saw many Imperial Court experts flying over. What's that sound? At the same time, on a planet not far away, Old Ancestor Sky Edge Masako lowered her head and stood in front of Protector D. Protector D frowned as he listened to Old Ancestor Sky Edge's report. The sudden voice caused the two of them to be slightly startled. This terrifying aura wasn't something an ordinary expert could unleash. Let's take a look first. The D Protector moved and immediately appeared above the planet. Old Ancestor Sky Edge hesitated for a moment before following behind. However, the moment he flew out and looked over, his eyes turned bloodshot. Dragon Palace! Dragon King! He let out a furious roar and flew over, his body reeking of blood. Damn it! Protector D's face changed when he saw this. He immediately flew over to where Lin Fan was. Hee, Old Ancestor Sky Edge, you're a little late. However, our feud isn't over. The matter of you attacking my disciple isn't over either. Wang Xian said calmly when he saw him flying over. Dragon King? Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Sky Edge sect? What's going on? Chapter 27-24. The entire star was destroyed by Dragon Palace and Dragon King. That terrifying aura, Dragon Palace must have sent out more than one undying God King Peak expert. The rules of the Imperial Court forbids killing. Violators will be killed. Now that the Dragon Palace is attacking the Sky Edge sect, the Dragon Palace destroyed the star directly. Many experts from the Sky Edge sect must have died. Now that the Sky Edge Old Ancestor is here, are they going to fight? Terrifying explosions shook the battlefront of the Imperial Court's chasm battlefield, attracting the attention of countless people. In just a few minutes, billions of people had gathered. As far as the eye could see, there was a dense crowd of people discussing with shocked expressions. Everyone knew about the feud between the Sky Edge sect and the Dragon Palace. The Sky Edge sect had once been defeated by the Dragon Palace, killing close to 20,000 undying God King experts. Now, the two forces were fighting again. Dragon King, I'm going to kill you! Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, Old Master Masako of the Sky's Edge was infuriated. His body trembled as he stared at the shattered stars with his bloodshot eyes. A divine axe appeared in front of him as he struck out violently. Ha ha ha! How dare a stray dog be so arrogant! Rumble! Seeing his attack, Roving Heavens raised the ocean, steadying godly needle in his hand and faced it head-on. The terrifying shockwave from the collision spread to the surroundings rapidly. Oh no, retreat! This is a clash between two pinnacle God King experts. The people who were closer to the battle were shocked as they hurried to hide. Stop! Rumble! At this moment, a terrifying giant hand appeared and blocked the shockwave from the collision between Roving Heavens and Masako. Dragon Palace, how dare you break the rules of the Imperial Court and kill people here? Are you looking down on the Imperial Court? A cold bellow was heard from the back. It's the guardian of the Imperial Court. Hearing this voice, everyone's expression changed. They knew that the experts from the Imperial Court were here. This guardian of the Imperial Court. A old ancestor from the Sky Edge sect attacked my disciple openly. They were the ones who offended us first. Why can't we take revenge? Anyone who attacks their own kind in the Imperial Court will be punished by the Imperial Court. I want to know how the World Edge sect will be punished for their actions. Wang Xian looked at the protector of the Imperial Court and asked with sparkling eyes. The reason why he dared to make a move this time was that the Dragon Palace had enough evidence. World Edge sect violated the Imperial Dynasty's rules first, so naturally, they were the ones to be punished. In any case, this is not a reason for the Dragon Palace to blow up a planet and kill countless people. That Protector D said expressionlessly. Upon hearing him, Wang Xian frowned slightly. Phew, something happened here. Did the Dragon Palace take action? That's Protector D. It seems like we've finally caught up. Let's go. At this moment, a group of more than 10 people rushed over on a special aircraft near the abyss. When they saw countless people gathered in front of them, they were startled and hurried inside. Lord Protector, an ancestor from the World's Edge, attacked Sister Bei Shuang when we were heading into the abyss. He violated the rules of the Imperial Court. The Emperor Star Maiden's gaze swept across the center of the group and immediately reported. Lord Protector, as the Emperor Star Maiden said, an ancestor from the World's Edge sect ambushed an 8th Order God King realm expert and violated the rules of the Imperial Court. We saw it with our own eyes, as well as Deacon Ing and the rest. Beside the Emperor Star Maiden, a princess from the same group spoke up. That's the princess of the Imperial Court. That's the Emperor Star Maiden, the current princess. The other one is the former princess, and they have deacons with them. An ancestor from the World's Edge sect actually ambushed an 8th Order expert and the disciple of the Dragon King. That's too despicable. When the surrounding people heard the words of the Emperor Star Maiden and the rest, they started to discuss. It's your Dragon Palace that ambushed our disciples first. Our 4 elders and over 10,000 Immortal King experts were all killed by you. You deserve to die. The World's Edge ancestor roared furiously. Kiki, our Dragon Palace assassinated you first? If you can produce evidence, our Dragon Palace is willing to accept the punishment. If you don't spout nonsense. This Protector of the Imperial Court, according to the rules of the Imperial Court, please deal with him fairly. Wang Xian looked at the Protector and said. That Protector D frowned slightly and glanced at Fonia Z with a displeased expression. The World's Edge sect is in the wrong, but since they have worked for the Imperial Court, we'll spare their lives. If there's a next time, we'll annihilate them. Protector D announced plainly. Protector D's words shocked the surrounding people. Their eyes sparkled as they looked at him. Let's go! When Wang Xian heard this, a cold gleam flashed in his eyes as he replied straightforwardly. Wang! Activating the World's Edge ruler, Wang Xian and the rest flew away. Seeing the Dragon King and the rest leaving, the surrounding people were stunned once again. Protector D, why are you protecting the World's Edge sect? It's clearly the World's Edge sect that broke the rules. When the Emperor Star Maiden and the rest heard Protector D's words, their faces turned ugly. The other princess, Deacon Ing, and the rest also frowned. Protector D must have his own reasons for his decision. We shouldn't doubt him, Deacon Ing said. Protector D of the Imperial Court is protecting the World's Edge sect? The World's Edge sect is the archenemy of the Dragon Palace. What does Protector D mean by that? Is Protector D unhappy with the Dragon Palace? The surrounding experts from other forces were thinking when they saw this. Protector D's action revealed a lot of information. It could be said that a protector could represent the attitude of the Imperial Court. It was even more thought-provoking to see the Dragon King of Dragon Palace and the others leave immediately. Dragon King, the protector of the Imperial Court, is obviously protecting the World's Edge sect. Fuck, should we get rid of them? At the same time, the World's Edge ruler had already left the area. Orochi said with a murderous look. Wang Xian remained silent with a sullen face. According to his calculations, the Sky Edge Old Ancestor had violated the rules of the Imperial Court by attacking them, and would be punished by the Imperial Court. However, the protector of the Imperial Court was openly siding with the Sky Edge sect. Especially when the Sky Edge protector flew over to question him, he sensed that something was amiss. As the saying went, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. However, the friend of my enemy could also be my enemy. Since the Imperial Court was openly siding with the Sky Edge sect, then, a murderous intent flashed in Wang Xian's eyes. Orochi, tell Mo Sha that his next target isn't just the Abyss Seed. He can kill anyone he can, he said coldly. Chapter 27-25. Wang Xian had thought that he had a good relationship with the Emperor Star Maiden and that she had some status in the Imperial Court. The Dragon Palace would have a better relationship with the Imperial Court. But he was wrong. The Imperial dynasty didn't care about a disciple like the Emperor Star Princess at all. Furthermore, as a protector, he did not have to worry about the feelings and reactions of the Dragon Palace. They can do whatever they want. The World Edge sect was related to the Imperial Court, so their protectors could directly protect them. Although he didn't accuse the Dragon Palace, it was enough to convey a message. World's Edge was under the protection of the Imperial Court. World's Edge Great Sect could attack Dragon Palace's people, but if Dragon Palace attacked World's Edge Great Sect's people and was caught with evidence, the Imperial Court might punish Dragon Palace. It was the complete opposite treatment. Moreover, the World Edge and the Dragon Palace were now mortal enemies. The World Edge sect would definitely seek revenge on the Dragon Palace in the future. If the Dragon Palace couldn't kill the people of the Sky Edge sect, the Sky Edge sect would kill the Dragon Palace after they became stronger. Indirectly, the Imperial Court would also kill the Dragon Palace, because they were protecting the World Edge sect. As for the Imperial Court, Wang Xian had nothing to worry about. Although the Dragon Palace and the Imperial Court were far apart in terms of strength, the Imperial Court was already an enemy. In that case, the resources to upgrade the Dragon Palace would not be limited to Abyss species. He could kill the Abyss beasts, but he could also kill the Imperial Dynasty experts. Dragon King, the Dragon Palace can give birth to another 3,000 venomous horned dragons. Give birth to the last 3,000? Yamada no Orochi asked with twinkling eyes. Yes. Wang Xian nodded his head. Dragon King, in my opinion, it's much easier to deal with humans than the Abyss species. As long as we can parasitize a small team of experts in the Imperial Court, we'll be able to grasp the situation of a small team. Then, Demon Fiend and the rest can continue to ambush us as the Abyss species. I believe that not long from now, the experts of the Imperial Dynasty will suffer heavy losses. Bachi said coldly. Send someone to handle this matter. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. It's Dragon King! Yamada no Orochi nodded. To Wang Xian, everyone in the Abyss battlefield was an enemy and a resource for the Dragon Palace to improve its strength. Since you don't respect our Dragon Palace, don't blame us for being impolite. Wang Xian murmured. Brother Fengyazi, I don't want this to happen again. This time, because of you, we have completely offended the Dragon Palace. Although we don't take the Dragon Palace seriously, the Imperial Court doesn't want any trouble at this time. At this moment, Protector D spoke to Masako with a cold expression on a planet at the front line of the Imperial Court. Thank you for your protection, Protector D. We will definitely not cause you any more trouble. Masako lowered her head and replied. Don't find trouble with the Dragon Palace anymore. The Holy Kingdom of Emperor God Yilin will open in a month. If you can obtain a great opportunity and find an opportunity to break through, you can kill as you please in the Dragon Palace after you break through. Protector D said in a low voice. Yes, thank you, Protector D. Masako thanked him once again before leaving. Dragon King of Dragon Palace. When he flew out from Protector D's place, killing intent surged in his eyes again. Although Protector D had protected the Sky Edge sect this time, the Sky Edge sect had suffered heavy losses this time around. Over 30,000 Undying God King experts had died. Currently, the entire Sky Edge sect was left with over 10,000 Undying God King experts. From 80 to 90,000 experts to over 10,000 now. It was all because of the Dragon Palace. The blood feud would not end until one of them died. I hope I can obtain a great opportunity in the Holy Kingdom of Emperor God Yiling this time. Only then can we annihilate the Dragon Palace. Only then can we take revenge. He murmured and clenched his fists tightly. Dragon King, we have collected all the corpses from the Sky Edge sect. Other than over 30,000 Undying God King experts, there are also countless Eternal God Masters and above. In front of the abyss, Roving Demon and the rest rushed over and reported to Wang Xian. Return to the Dragon Palace and use all the resources to improve the strength of the members of the Poison Department. Wang Xian said. Yes, Dragon King. Roving Demon nodded. All the resources were used to improve the Venom Horn Dragon species. Currently, the Dragon Palace had 3,000 Venom Horn Dragon members. If all the resources were used on them, the strength of these 3,000 Venom Horn Dragons would not be lower than 5th level Undying God King. After all, they had used a lot of resources to improve them not long ago. Half a month later, get Demon Fiend to start parasitizing them. Yamada no Orochi said coldly. Wang Xian nodded his head plainly. Soon, the half-a-month time arrived. Demon Fiend, what the hell are you doing? Only 7 9th level Undying God King Abyssal species. Fuck, 7 is still too little. The closer we get to the center, the harder it is. I paid a huge price to get these 7. Moreover, you can totally improve your strength. Orochi looked at the corpses of the abyssal species, and could not help but complain. Demon Fiend said speechlessly at the side. The harvest this time was 7 9th level Undying God King Abyssal species and 88th level Undying God King Abyssal species. The rest were about 10,000 Undying God King Abyssal species. The harvest was already terrifying enough. Dragon King, it will be even harder to get more. The closer we get to the center, the stronger the abyssal species. It would be great if we could get half of this harvest next time. Demon Fiend said bitterly. Even though they were getting stronger, the abyssal species closer to the center were getting stronger too. The number of abyssal species was also getting bigger. Moreover, these abyssal species often fought with humans. It would be much more difficult to get more abyssal species. Especially those with pinnacle Undying God King abyssal species. Don't worry, let's change our target and deal with the Imperial Court. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Deal with the Imperial Court? Dragon King, are we going to war with the Imperial Court? Demon Fian's eyes flickered as he asked in shock. Our Dragon Palace is no match for the Imperial Court. There are some things that you can discuss with Orochi. He will tell you. Also, exchange some of these abyssal species crystals for merit points. Don't use Dujio's identity, and don't expose your identity as Dragon Palace. To avoid any situations, Wang Xian instructed Demon Fiend and the rest. Yes, Dragon King! Demon Fiend nodded. Thereafter, Orochi, Dujio and the other members of the Poison Department transformed into middle-aged elders and flew towards the planet where they could exchange for merit points and treasures. After a day, they exchanged the abyssal species crystals for elixirs and flew back. This is the last exchange. If we get more abyssal species corpses, we will bring them back to the Dragon Palace to absorb. Wang Xian looked at the elixir in his hand and mumbled, You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.